thank you all for coming down here, and thank you obviously for GetUp to giving me 10-15 minutes to give you a brief update on David's situation. I last saw David in the end of July. Unfortunately, since end of March, beginning of April, he's been placed in solitary confinement at Guantanamo. He basically spends 23 hours a day in a cement room, steel door, without any interaction with his environment or with any other people. He's been in that way for quite some time, for 4 months now. I'll be going down to see him in September when I return from Australia. Unfortunately, the solitary confinement has been bad for him, and you can see how that total lack of interaction with the world outside of him, his environment, has a great impact, unfortunately, in the negative. The legal case, as they already mentioned, as most of you are aware, that the Supreme Court in Hamden found that the military commission system that had already begun trying David was illegal, contrary to certain U.S. laws and to the Geneva Convention. It didn't come as a surprise to me or anyone else that had followed the military commission system. Unfortunately, the Australian ministers that were responsible for supporting David's trial never listened to the people that were criticizing the commission before. And you can't blame a government representative for not listening to me. I'm just a defense counsel. But when the Attorney General for the United Kingdom says doesn't meet international legal standards, when the Law Council of Australia says it doesn't meet international legal standards, I think they were on notice, and yet they were the only government in the world that came out publicly saying the military commission system was fair for Australian citizens. Please. And I raise that solely because right now, in response to the commission being found illegal, the U.S. administration is trying to pass through a new bill through our Congress, which unfortunately just basically rubber stamps the illegal system that David was being tried in. If that happens and the Australian government does not take a critical look at the new system that's being proposed, then David basically will be stuck in Guantanamo at least for another 2.5 years. Well, a challenge is mounted against that illegal system. The Australian ministers were fooled once with an illegal system. They cannot be fooled a second time. And David, the system is unfair. It was unfair. The current one they're trying to set up is unfair. If it goes through, it will not provide the basic protections that you would expect from a criminal system. David will not have the right to confront his accusers or confront the evidence against him. And I ask that you, if they do that, and they go forward with a new system, that you look at it. And if it doesn't meet what you would expect to be a fair trial, you speak out in support of David. I think it's wonderful that you all came here. When I see David in September, I'll let him know what's going to happen. And it'll be 5 years in November of David's detention by the U.S. And I think 5 years is quite a long time to spend in prison when you never violated the laws of your country to which you're a citizen. And that is a fact that the Australian government has said from the beginning, that David never violated Australian law. And unfortunately, they put him in a system to be tried that America would not tolerate for American citizens. And I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.